Legit singing. What is it?
Summertime. And I know it might only be true.
I'm going to attempt to answer that question with all the knowledge I've gained in my first year of drama school, from a brilliant book called Singing and the Actor by Gillian Case, and from some further reading I've found online. First things first is vocal qualities. A very clever lady called Jo S. Still defined these qualities and defined how to access them as singers. Today we're going to focus on speech, twang, cry, and sob. Also worth mentioning is belt, which isn't technically a part of legit singing, but it's kind of the side of the same coin. So let's start with speech. On the Scholar's Compass website, I found a nice quote that said, "The speech quality is often touted as the one used most often for everyday speech and is regarded as the most intelligible quality." Let's have a listen.
I can see him when he's 17 or so.
Okay, sob next. Sob produces a dark and emotive sound and is defined by its low larynx.
I can see him when he's 17 or so.
Similar to sob is cry. They both produce a very emotive tone, but cry is more bright and light.
I can see him when he's 17 or so.
Let's talk about twang. Twang creates a cartoonish, bright, loud sound that cuts through other noise.
I can see him when he's 17 or so.
There is another type of twang, nasal twang, but this is very rare. It is only really used for specific characterization.
I can see him when he's 17 or so.
There are 11 different articulators in your body. Soft palate, tongue, jaw, neck, torso, false vocal folds, true vocal folds, cricoid cartilage, thyroid, larynx, and aryepiglottal sphincter. How do you use them? Let's get this chart up. You know what? No, this is just boring. Better idea.
2021 Vocal articulators. Legit style.
The jaw is easy cause it's always loose. The FEFs are neutral in speech, that's the truth. They're attracted in cry, sob, twang and belt. And the neck's not anchored when speech is felt. The larynx starts high for belt, twang and cry. You lower it to neutral as your speech comes by. The lowest it will go for the sob-like sound. The master of the larynx, you will soon be crowned.
Are you even listening? Mate, it's an insult.
Airy, epic, glottal, sphincter, twang and belt is narrow, let the music hit ya. Thyroid is always tilted, unless you're singing speech, then it's horizontalated. Onto the torso, do you anchor or not? If you want to sob a belt, then give it a shot. For most of it, keep that tongue up high. If you're in speech though, it's best to try. Now let's talk about the vocal folds. If they're thick, then you're speaking or belting down the walls. Your soft palate's raised for all the types, but it's neutral if you want to make your nasal twang right.
Let's clean this place up. Paul, get the broom.
Cricoid, cartilage, vertical, speech, sob and twang, get it into your skull. Cricoid, cartilage, tilted up for your crying and your belting, we are about to blow up.
Yeah, vocal articulators. Legit.
Whew. Okay, let's go over some of these articulators, what they do, how you can control them. First up, let's talk about the soft palate. The soft palate is at the back of your throat. It directs where the air goes. In singing, 99% of the time, we want it to come through our mouth. So you want your soft palate high. First up, if you want to feel your soft palate moving between high and low, you can do this. You can also practice use of the soft palate by springing out of these NG sounds.
Nga, ngay, ngi, ngu, ngo.
If you're having particular problems gaining control of your soft palate, you can always sing the song through on a gi sound on every syllable. So the tongue, it should always aim to be raised at the back with the front below your front teeth. This will allow for more easily pronounced syllables and better resonance. To practice tongue positioning, sing through a song on an E sound. A really good exercise to do is tongue boot camp. 8 times clockwise, 8 times anti-clockwise, then 4, then 2, then 1. On the Voice Explained website, they say the primary anatomical function of the larynx is that of a valve and a constrictor. That valve and constrictor is what changes your tone. Raising and lowering the larynx will change the length of the vocal tract tube, and this changes your resonating quality. It's also important to note that both the tongue and the larynx are connected by a bone between the two called the hyoid bone. The jaw is the easiest to remember because it always has to be loose. You have to make sure that there's no tension and that it's not jutted forward or backwards to allow for better resonance throughout your mouth. Now, onto the AES, the aryepiglottal sphincter. Now, this can close or open depending on what you want to achieve, and is generally closed for higher notes and for better resonance because it allows more air to come through the pharynx around it. It's primarily used for twang. Now, the neck's kind of an easy one. You've got to have it properly aligned to allow for the air to come through properly and resonate properly. So, the torso. Here we've got the intercostal muscles and the pelvic floor muscles. In Singing and the Actor, Julianne Case says, because of their attachments to the ribs, the spine, the diaphragm and the pelvis, these muscles will have the effect of stabilizing the body and hence the breath during active voice work, which is very important. The false vocal folds. There's a reason why 99% of the time they have to be retracted, because they have to be out of the way of the true vocal folds. This is what we mean when we say constriction. The true vocal folds. Vibration on these creates our sound, and how far apart they are creates our pitch. Now onto the thyroid. This is a butterfly-shaped gland that sits above the cricoid cartilage. It houses the vocal folds along with the cricoid cartilage. It's meant to be tilted so we can smoothly transition between notes. There's another part of legit singing that's important, and that is onsets. This is how your breath is used when you produce a sound. There is aspirate, simultaneous, and glottal. Aspirate, breath comes before the note.
Our romance won't end on a sorrowful note.
In glottal, the breath is held and the vocal folds are thick.
Our romance won't end on a sorrowful note.
The last of these is simultaneous. This is a mix between the two, where the breath and the vibrations arrive simultaneously.
Our romance won't end on a sorrowful note.
Now, simultaneous is what you're going to be using 99% of the time. Another thing to talk about is medialization. In Singing and the Actor, Julianne Case describes it as to make in the middle. Specifically, it means that you are making the differences between the vowels in the middle of the tongue rather than front to back. Using medializing, you will be more easily heard and more voice efficient. Okay, now let's talk about alignment. First of all, you want to imagine the crown of your head being pulled up vertically by a string. Your knees should be soft with your feet in parallel. Your back should be straight with your shoulders back, and your neck should be level with the rest of your body and not push too far forwards. Now onto some exercises that will help warm up your voice for legitimate singing. First off, we have a spinal roll. Feel the weight of your head drop onto your chest, and then you roll down your back and let yourself hang from the waist. Roll around a bit there, and then bring yourself up on the out breath. Make sure your shoulders drop into place last, and keep your eyes at the horizon. Siren. Then you can siren through a lip trill. If you're feeling tension in your body, you can always try swings. First up is arm swings. You do this on the right and the left. Just mirror it for whichever one you want to do. Next is your flop down swings. And then finally, you have your leg swings.
Thanks for watching!